Thank you, Holger, and welcome everybody from my side as well. I'm working as a cluster manager at TraWeBa. TraWeBa is organizing this exchange as a possibility to get in contact. And Holger already mentioned it. We now have a website, Meet the Speakers, and there you have also the possibility to find some follow-up options with the speakers we have today, because 4 minutes is cool to have a pitch, to get a short overview what these speakers do, what the companies do, but of course 4 minutes is not enough. If maybe you have time, then you have the possibility to register there directly, to meet them in a follow-up meeting. And yes, with this, I come already to our first speaker. I'm very happy that he is here. He is the president and founder of a really active and large network operating here in Europe. They already expanded to other areas of the world as well. And yeah, welcome, Claude. I'm very happy to be here, that you are here. And I think you will explain way better and in more detail what your network is doing. So the next 4 minutes are yours.
Okay, thank you a lot, Maximilian. I will share my screen now and present you firstly what is Upcell Alliance. Do you see my screen now? No, I think an issue, sorry. I try again. Partager, okay. Do you see now? Is okay?
Yes.
Okay, bueno. Then, about Upcell Alliance, as you said, Maximilian, I am the founder of Upcell Alliance, and Upcell Alliance is an idea that I had 3 years ago. We really created 2.5 years ago, and we created initially just for Europe, and mainly for promoting the machine builder from Europe. Now we have in Europe 150 plus members, but since a few months, we also discovered and changing a bit our mindset to say that Europe alone could certainly have big issues to face this complex challenge with the battery business. Then we decided also to create Upcell North America and Upcell Asia Pacific. The target of Upcell are two main pillars. First, we are doing collaboration and innovation. It is exactly what, let's say, the majority of alliances around the world are doing. About innovation, we are thinking on grants, collaborative projects, where we have public funds. But what is really special from us is that we are really business-oriented. And we are doing a lot of effort for being very pragmatic and very involved on the business. And I will explain you a bit more just after. The second thing who is a bit different compared to other alliances is we want to be also involved on the lab and let's say training. Then this is why we created Upcell Laboratory and Upcell University also. The main ideas of Upcell, as I told you, is we have 3 main pillars. The first one is about alliances. We have 3 alliances: Upcell Europe, Upcell America, and Upcell Asia. With this, we have a complete view on the current situation. We are aware, and we are able to also influence everywhere around the world. And I think that it is something quite very needed today. The second big pillar is the Upcell turnkey solution. It's a concrete, let's say, company for doing a consortia of machine builder and they're being able to sell a complete process machinery solution around the world with machine builder from Europe, but also from America and from Asia. But what we have in mind, because thanks to our origins, we want to promote as fast and as maximum as possible European one. But we are able to work with all. And as I said, also Upcell Lab and University. We'll do our first lab through for Spain soon. Where we are about membership, we have, as I told you, 150 members in Europe. You have a map here with with companies, mainly machine builder, as you saw, but also battery manufacturer and government university. In America, we are launching since months ago. This is where we are. We are in good progress to develop. And in Asia Pacific is more young because we launched it just 1 month ago. Then this is everything as I want to tell to you today in 4 minutes. The only thing as I want to tell to you, the last thing is on July 26 and 27th, we will have our yearly event, Upcell event for Europe. It will be in Barcelona. And because we have a special collaboration with TraWeBa, we invite you to come, even if you are not member of Upcell, as a guest, to come to our event as a guest. Then don't hesitate to register yourself. If you want to do it, don't forget also to mention inside your registration the fact that you are a TraWeBa member. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, and perfectly on time. And also thank you very much for the offer of this collaboration and the offer to our memberships of members of the network to exclusively join your conference, which is otherwise not possible if you're not a member of your alliance. And maybe let's start with a short question. If I'm a company and I'm not a member of your alliance right now, can I still work with you, or do I have to be a member to get any benefits?
It's a good question. If you are not a member, we can first talk together and investigate how Upcell could have a benefit for you. Because for us, as I said, we are very business oriented. Then we are always looking for win-win situation. Then if we think that we could really help you to develop your business, your innovation, or I don't know what, we could try to do a trial, to try to help you even if you are not member. But it's true that at the end, the target is also to grow our membership. Then to reply to you, if you are not a member, we can try to do things. And when it will work, we'll try to convince you to become a member.
Perfect. So if there are questions from the audience, the chat is really actively used. So don't put your question directly in the chat. Just unmute your microphone and ask the question directly. Otherwise, in the chat, we will oversee most of the questions because so much is happening there. So please just go forward.
Or just raise your hand as I'm doing it. So one quick question or one quick request. Claude, can you share your link for the event in the chat so that we can pick it up and maybe share it a couple of times?
Yes, I need to find it, but maybe you have it, Maximilian. Do you have it? Or?
Yes, I can have it. I will share it. And also you can find the description and the link also on the Meet the Speaker site. I will provide the link very soon. If there's no other questions, since you're an expert of the European ecosystem in the battery area, let me ask you maybe one question. It might be the last because time is already running short. In your opinion, the battery ecosystem is difficult to set up, but there are a lot of Horizon projects. I think Upcell Alliance is founding or is working with 8 to 10 new applications every year. Do you think German companies are well represented in these Horizon calls or in these European projects, or is there, or are they not? Like, what's your estimation of this?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and you go directly straight to the point. I am quite proud about myself to have Upcell working well like it is. But if I have one frustration today, is to not being able to convince more stakeholders from Germany. Because I think it's not needed to say again, because it's very obvious, but in Europe, the strongest country for machines and for industry is definitely Germany. Then I think that unfortunately, in my point of view, we don't have enough German member inside Upcell, and we don't have enough German stakeholder inside the grants project. It's true that we are we are doing a lot of European projects, but it could be much better with with more German stakeholders.
Thank you. I think that's a really clear call to action. If you want to participate more in these calls, European calls, get in contact. You can get in contact with TraWeBa, you can get in contact directly with Upcell Alliance. And yeah, I think that is really important to use the knowledge we have in Germany to bring it to the European market. And with this, I'm already afraid that time is up.
If I can ask just one word, Maximilian?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. I think that this battery business is extremely complex, and that Asia is far ahead on innovation. We know all this very complex situation. And if we want to have a chance to be successful in Europe, now it is really the moment to be super solidary, all European countries, to go together on the same direction, because the challenge is so complex that it is the moment to do it. Then please, if you hesitate, if you have any doubt, I want just to tell you, go on, come with us, collaborate with TraWeBa, with Upcell, and then we will have more chance to succeed. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. And with this, I head over to you.
Yeah, I think it's a very nice thing. I think it's very important. Battery is very complex. It's all about making connections. So there are a lot of battery networks out there, but I think it's important to really get connected. So that's the reason why we say share the link of your LinkedIn thing and then in the chat. Please don't simply go in there and then simply click on it and reach out to the people and send out your invites to the people you're interested in. And be aware on LinkedIn, you currently can send out something like 100 LinkedIn requests per week. So if you want to spend all today. I think it's worth doing it. Okay, this is one. We're coming to the second presentation from Ola. He's presenting a startup, the startup called Alva Technologies. And what they promise is they take you from cars to control. So Paula, please unmute yourself, share your presentation, and the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you very much. Can everyone see my presentation now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ola, and I am the CEO and founder of Alva. And we are making an energy management system that makes any home energy optimized. So jumping a bit into the challenge today is we're diving into the energy transition and its implication for homes. First, I'd like to talk about the challenges that we face. We're seeing a surplus of energy during midday due to rooftop solar. This has led to a collapse in export earnings. It's crucial we understand how this affects our energy economy. Next, we can consider the impact of peak usage tariffs. These tariffs can be quite punitive for those who rely on plug-in forget charging, meaning that timing of EV charging is not just a good idea, it's actually a necessity for saving costs while using an electric vehicle. And finally, across Europe, we have a shift from gas boilers to heat pumps. And as heating costs now tracks the spot price of the hourly prices of electricity, households now have a direct incentive to reduce their peak consumptions. So this is where home batteries come into play. They allow you to save solar energy for later use and maximize both efficiency and savings. As we move forward, we'll see how home batteries are becoming essential grid assets, enabling a smarter, more flexible energy future. I would like you guys to first consider that we now have approximately 18 gigawatts of flexible power available from just 2 hours of battery discharging. And this is a significant development in our energy landscape. And next, we've seen over 35 gigawatt hours of residential battery installations to date. And this is an impressive figure highlighting the growing trust and reliance on home batteries. So what do we really do to this? So all of these home batteries and all of these EV chargers, all of these heat pumps are really good at optimizing themselves in a system, making sure they're running very efficiently. The problem arises when you start mixing all of these things together. You have an EV charger, you have a battery, you have a solar system on your roof, and then all of these things are used to optimizing for themselves, but they're not so well connected together. They speak different languages. They don't know what the other thing is doing. So this is one of the things that we're doing at Alva. We're kind of this hidden energy janitor that is working in the background in your electrical panel. We measure electricity and then we control these energy loads together. And it's a local system. We fetch electricity prices and weather from the cloud, but all the optimization is happening in the user. This allows us to optimize battery scheduling in a way that before have been very difficult because we sit with a very good ground truth on what's actually going on in the home. And what's have been extremely important for us is that we have made a system that is, we call whatever proof. It connects to everything from Matter to Modbus, OCCP, local interfaces. We're not so much into Wi-Fi and API cloud connections. We do that as well, but we're really focused on doing these integrations on sites. And we put all this into an autopilot AI model, which is running on the edge, optimizing all these systems together. We have a very transparent model of doing so. So that's a short intro of what we're doing at Alva. If you want to hear more about this, we have set up a follow event in a couple of weeks. So please join that and you can get to know us a bit better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think you're nicely in time. So we have a lot of time for questions. So who has a question? Just one question from my side. What is your call to action for the audience here? What do you want them to do for you?
So we're looking for people deploying batteries in home installations that are not so well in scheduling. We would like to collaborate with people on battery scheduling to make sure that you optimize the usage of batteries. I think that is one of the main things that we're looking for, pilot projects and also collaborations. We do both connecting to our system, but we also do like OEM type of situations.
Okay. You're looking at your startup. So when will you go for looking for new investors? So when is a good time to invest?
Yeah, so we are launching a new round for investors in a couple of months. So that is also, of course, of interest. If any investors on this call can reach out to us. Yeah.
Very good. Any other questions? Just speak up, raise your hand.
Maybe let's me ask one question. How adaptive is your technology? Like, can I use it in different setups for different homes? Could you like implement it in any household, or like where are the limitations here?
So we try to make the system very universal to work across Europe. There's a lot of different types of communication protocols out there that is in the market right now. We have added all of these protocols to our system. Mostly, maybe not the very, very niche ones, but like mostly we connect to all types of systems. So we don't have a lot of limitations on that matter, actually.
All right.
Any other questions? If not, we're going to the next speaker. Okay, over to you, Max.
Yeah, maybe since we still have a little bit of time, maybe a short follow-up question to Ola, and that's I find especially this topic with if you integrate your house with a battery with solar cells, that's a really cool technology, especially if you then go to the bi-directional charging of your car. Like, I think there's a huge potential here. Can your system provide a benefit for like this overall kind of virtual power plant setup system? Like, can you provide there a real benefit? And maybe you can also comment a bit like, where do you see the potential of this like bigger idea to integrate everything, and not only in one household, but integrate the households themselves?
Yeah, so one of the first things we did was actually verify ourselves in the flexibility market here in the Nordic and also in Belgium and Canada. to enable our system to actually do flexibility trading. Our system adapts to user habits, so we understand how the user are actually spending their electricity, but that also means that we're very much in front of what the user actually wants us to cut power to and what they don't want us to touch. So we're able to give the grid providers a list of users that would like to cut power in terms of flexibility, for example. And if you bundle a lot of these together, then you create a very powerful network of people. Not only in Norway, we have seen a lot of EV chargers connecting to the flexibility network because EV charging is quite easy to connect. But when you also join in with heating and other type of equipment, then you create a very large flexible load in neighborhoods that is not available for the grid provider today.
Cool, thank you very much. And yeah, with this, the time is up. I still had some questions, especially about the regulations you think which should be changed, or maybe we need new regulations for this, because it's a really new strategy and new potentials coming up. But I think for these questions, I have to wait for your follow-up event to ask them, and then we have more time to discuss. Okay, thank you very much for the talk. And yeah, we switch the topic, and now we go to another very important topic in the battery industry, and that is battery diagnostics. Because nobody can look inside of a battery, but actually to know how good your battery is, especially if you look, but not only if you look for second life batteries, but also for the first life batteries, knowing what your battery, how healthy it is, if there are problems with the battery, what is the state of charge, the state of health? That's a big question. And I'm happy to announce now a joint project from MAHLE and Volytica Diagnostics. And yeah, it's a joint project, and two people will also present, Moser from MAHLE and Paula Schwetzler from Volytica Diagnostics. Two people, but still one project, so 4 minutes. The stage is yours.
Max, thank you very much for having the possibility to present today. So I'm Michael from MAHLE Service Solutions. We're producing workshop equipment. And today, together with Paula from Volytica, we want to talk about battery diagnostics within short time.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. I'm Paula. I'm from Volytica Diagnostics, and our vision is that every battery is used to its true potential. And especially for electric vehicles, we think that the acceptance of electric vehicles can only be achieved by being transparent about the battery state. Because imagine you want to buy an electric vehicle, a used electric vehicle, and you wonder, okay, what's actually the remaining range? Is there any safety issue? What do I need to think about? What could happen to the battery when it was already used? And especially, for example, for fleet owners, there's much worth in the asset of the battery. So what is the residual value of my fleet? This highly depends on the state of the battery. And not only fleet owners, but especially technical inspectors and also workshops. They need to have methods to really understand what's going on inside of the battery. And of course, also EV owners still want to know what's the range of my car or how much worth is my car. And there is where our magic comes in, because for electric vehicles, the problem is you cannot easily access all the battery data, especially not continuously. And together with MAHLE, we come up with a brilliant idea to use the electric vehicle charging infrastructure, because the good thing is every electric vehicle needs to be charged, and we use a special charging station, which you can see here, which has 20 kilowatts to make the battery dense. Like, we stimulate the battery during a special charging process to really get information on how is the battery behaving under a bit of stress. And together with an VCI, which reads out the OBD data, we get all the information that is necessary to get a broad view of deep insights of the battery. This whole data is transferred to our engine, and we give you at the end a report which tells you what is the remaining capacity of the battery, like the so-called state of health, and also what is the performance of the battery, like how good can I still get energy in and out. This whole process only needs 50 minutes, and you only need this charging infrastructure you see here. And the special thing about it is, with this dancing of the battery, like with this dynamic testing, you really test the battery. You just don't look at it when it's relaxed. You have the possibility to, within 50 minutes, really get a deep insight of the battery. And how exactly this functions, Michael will explain you.
Yeah, it's very easy to handle. So you just select the vehicle in the app which you want to test. You plug in the charger to the grid and also to the vehicle. Then you plug in the VCI to the OBD port in the vehicle, and then you press start. And after 50 minutes, you will receive the report which Paula mentioned, and you know how good is your battery. So thanks a lot for the audience, and if you have questions, please feel free to ask now.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much. And we already have the first question. Please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great. Thank you for your presentation. In fact, I have just a question about the models that you are using for estimating the state of health. Did you use electrochemical models or macroscopic models or data driving models just for quantifying the state of health of the battery?
We use electrochemical models. Like normally, Volytica, we monitor stationary systems with continuous data, and we use all the models that we have for all lithium-ion batteries available, and apply those to what's happening like during the charging process from a broader view.
Great. In fact, I'm using the hybrid models that combine both the data driving with macroscopic models just to have low complexity.
Yeah.
And we are working about this point right now, and we think that we achieve high fidelity models that can reproduce the battery behavior. But until now, we didn't introduce the aspect of the battery degradation in the model. So we don't know if there is any available data for this purpose.
There is definitely available data like on degradation of batteries. You can get in touch with me if you want to, and we can discuss how we can provide you any usable information for your modeling.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.
Then I saw there's one question in the chat, Susan. I think that's a really relevant question. Maybe can you ask it yourself? If not, then maybe let me rephrase it. Do you issue the state of health data as a credential to the battery passport?
The SOH in the battery passport, and also like with the GTR22, which is required now from the OEM to be displayed on the dashboard, for example, of the electric vehicle. This is the OEM SOH. Like this is the self-assessment that the OEM applies to their algorithms, or which comes from their algorithms. We have the independent assessment, and I think it's quite important to understand that they can be similar, but actually as the OEM can decide quite themselves how they want to calculate it. And we think that especially with warranties and so on, there's always this kind of principal agent problem that, of course, the OEM will tell you, no, you're still in a good range, you're not a warranty case. That having an independent assessment is giving you, and knowing what you make it comparable between different OEMs is giving you a much broader view than just one value, which you don't really know how it's calculated. So yes, the SOH is also part of the battery passport, and also in the future on the dashboards of the vehicles. But we think with the intransparency on how it is calculated, the independent assessment like ours is still an added value, if that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you.
I do have two questions parallel to this conversation. Okay, so we are also working onto the thermal scanning model embedded with the AI. So initially what we did is like we have taken the data from different kind of chemistry like NMC, LFP, LCO, and we have plugged the data and trained the AI onto the when battery have a 10%, 20, like a 5 gap of the 5 range of the voltage. But the difficulties we are currently getting is so when we compare the different models, so the battery we get from the OEM's cars to analyze, because we are a recycler and we are into the refurbished business. So when we get the battery, they ask us to give the price. When we run through this model, there was an issue because there was no chemical reaction happening inside the battery. Okay, so our thermal scanner cannot gather the data, make a curve or compare something like that. When we put the charger, there is a problem that we have to have different charger models. Okay, and when in India, when we get the battery, what the OEMs does is like they remove the PCBs. Okay, when they remove the PCBs and BMS, all these, we don't have a data of the previous use. Okay, so only data that we have currently is just gathering the curves and comparing the heat and conversion. But that is not accurate. In the most of cases, we are still into the 60% of the range. Is this the same finding that you guys are also having?
I'm not 100% sure if I got the question correct, but we look at the batteries which are still inside of the vehicle. This makes it so special. That's why we are using the charging station to get like additional information through the charging protocol. So we don't deinstall the batteries and test them on a bench. We really test the vehicles when they're inside of the vehicle. So our data we gather is always available via OBD and via the charging protocol. So that's not a problem for us, at least in this case.
Okay, so I can say like there is a limitation in your model that the battery need to be into the actual vehicle.
So
yes.
Visual, I'm sorry, I have to cut this a little bit short, but the room always stays open after the discussion, but or after the presentations. So you have time, and there are so many more questions in this chat. So please use the time afterwards to ask more questions. But I'm afraid we have to add on, go on to the next speaker, so that every speaker has the possibility to present in time. But yeah, definitely. I'm not cutting short the discussion, but just postponing it to a later stage. And with that, I head over to Holger for our next speaker.
So Rahul, please use the chat and send Paula a direct message so you can chat directly with each other. And Eldal_M, please, sorry that you haven't put you in there. So please connect to Paula as well directly. So we're coming to the next presentation. And here it's about, in the end of the day, sustainable cathodes. And they promise to secure the energy future of tomorrow. So let's see. And Azadeh, where are you? The floor is yours. For your presentation, you can start.
Share the screen.
Yes, looks.
I think you see my screen, but with also this this part. Anyway, yeah. Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Azadeh Motealleh. I'm the CTO and co-founder at Shift Materials. We are a startup company based in Oslo, Norway, founded in 2023, focused on advanced battery materials, mainly LFP and next generation LMFP. A team of 4 experts working on technical innovations and combining technical excellence with commercialization experience. Our mission is to develop cost-efficient and sustainable cathode active materials for the European battery manufacturers, and leverage fresh and recycled materials to enable full material circularity. Our key achievements: first material successfully produced. We are at TRL 3.4. Customer validation is planned for this year. Financially, we are secured for the next 2 years and actively fundraising to support scaling and growth. If you look at this battery value chain, we are involved in this segment. active materials. And based on the McKinsey report, the European market for LFP material is expected to reach $22 billion by 2030, which shows a huge potential market in this segment. What is the challenge? While Europe battery industry is growing rapidly with planned production of 2,000 gigawatt-hour by 2030, 95% of cathode materials are currently imported from Asia. This creates a critical supply bottleneck. It's not just about import reliance. The current supply is neither sustainable nor resilient, which is highlighting an urgent need for locally sourced sustainable solutions. What is our solution? At Schiff Materials, we address this gap by local production of LFP and LMFP using sustainable European technology to reduce the cost and also strengthen Europe battery supply chain. Our process also integrates recycled materials in full compliance with Europe battery regulation. Okay, our leadership team. We have deep expertise in material science and chemistry. �ฤİ, our CEO, formerly at Frey in region cell manufacturer, he brings a strong leadership and deep expertise in battery material and sustainable innovation. Rune Wendelboe, founding and former CEO, he has successful exit experience with the startups. His company, Abolonix, was acquired by Aker Capital, Norwegian oil and gas capital, in 2021, and co-founded Graphene Batteries as well, which turned to Morrow Battery now in Norway. Me as the CTO and Mariam as the chief scientist with background in material science and also green chemistry. We are expert in battery materials and process innovation. We have also external advisors to help us during this journey. We have a quite attractive roadmap to become a high-value company. As I mentioned, we established this startup in March 2023 with 0.3 million euros angel investments. We have set up lab facilities, built partnerships, and developed our technology at lab scale. We are now verifying the performance with potential customers. We have also raised 1 million euros over last year to national and European projects. And our goal is to reach 1 kilo per day prototype production by the end of next year, 2026, and pilot plans at 30 tons per year by 2028. We need to secure pilot financing for that stage and scale to 100,000 tons per year finally with full automation by 2030. These milestones, of course, will depend on fundings, customer approvals, and also market validation. Thank you for your attention. We believe that our technology will have significant impact on Europe battery industry and green transition. So please contact us with any question.
Thank you very much. Is there any question? One question on my call, on my side. What was the best outcome of this call for you?
The best outcome?
Yeah. What was the call to action for the audience?
Actually, one of the main targets of startups is developing the technology based on these European regulations and making a robust and consistent process to become cost-effective, cost-efficient, and cost competitive with Asian, because 95% of the material, as I mentioned, is imported by Asia. And this process in battery value chain is highly dependent on CapEx and OpEx fees. And one of the main obstacles for us is attracting the investors for pilot plants. And we need to actually decrease the production cost. And maybe one of the target is having the pilot plants somewhere out of Europe to have these facilities, the pilot facilities, to minimize to lower the capex and opex costs. One of the things that we are targeting now in our process technology is to have a single streamlined process, closed loop process, to shorten the process to have this cathode material. As you know, LFP is a mature technology in Asia. So having this, compete with Asian players, key players, is very difficult. And we are actually trying to have like European technology and make our own technology. And to have, this to compete with them in terms of quality and cost is a bit, for now, as we are as early stage companies, is a big challenge. So during the next years, as we are secured by these European projects, we plan to develop our process. And let's see if we can reach potential customers, really big gigafactories in Europe. Then I think we can find investors as well.
Okay, Max.
Yeah. Also, quick question. You produce a new type of cathode material compared to like the LFP and NMC materials already in mass production. Like, what is the advantage compared to the cathode materials already in mass production? And then maybe, and please don't go into too much detail because you can talk hours about that. But then maybe give an insight, like how do you evaluate the threat of new technologies then even better than your cathode material, since you're already you are still in a kind of lab scale, so it's quite easy to be overtaken by a completely new disruptive technology.
Regarding the new technology, I think it takes a long time for this new technology to get adopted. And for next 10 years or 15 years, Europe and also Asian cell manufacturers are dependent on lithium-ion batteries. So LFP and next generation with manganese, LMFP, is 90% dominant by Chinese. And of course, and for sure, it's the same in Europe. So most of these gigafactories initiatives are dependent on this, let's say, old-fashioned chemistries like NMC and LFP. And because of the price, the cost-effective process, and thermal stability of this material, the future of cell manufacturers still is LFP and later NMC. So we are not worried about these new technologies. All the technologies can live together. So we are not worried about the emergence of these new chemistries.
All right. Thank you. Peter, do you have a quick question?
Very quick. So thank you. That was really interesting. My question is around where you get your supply, I suppose, of LFP for your process. Making what you're doing viable must be tricky. I'm interested in where the supply would come from.
I didn't get the question exactly. Could you please just...
Where would you source, I suppose, your input material from for recycling?
The material that we use for reusing, actually, we don't recycle any material. Actually, we are involved in these European projects, and other partners, recyclers, are responsible for recycle the end-of-life batteries or waste products. So we get this recycled material from these partners, could be recycled lithium resources like lithium carbonate, or recycled iron phosphate, which are the basic raw materials for making LFP. So we get this material from these European partners, and we integrate this recycled material to make the secondary LFP and compare with this commercialized one and try to optimize the performance. Of course, it's a long way we have to reach that point because we know the performance of the fresh LFP, and reaching the same performance with secondary LFP could be a big challenge because we need to consider also the cost.
Yeah.
So
thanks. I would say
we have to cut it here. So sorry for that. So please contact directly Azadeh on any other questions. I think as I said, everything is in the on the page. So we will share the link in the end on the page where all the audience is. I share my LinkedIn link also on the chat now. So we are connecting everybody, and especially the battery network world. So if you're interested, connect us. And there's another thing which I want to say before everybody's leaving in the end. There is on the 2nd of July a pretty interesting speed dating event, and which is online.
We have one more speaker.
Yes, yeah, I know. There's one speed dating event on the 2nd of July. Check it out. I think it's quite interesting because it's focused on batteries, but it's rather focused in the area on the field of chemistry. So it's not, I think, there's a lot of recycling, but I think it's not energy also. So we're coming then to the last speaker, Henning, and over to you, Max, for the quick intro. And Sadia, we have to put you in the end. Yeah.
or write your question in the chat. Yes, we're coming to, I personally find it a very interesting topic. It's second life batteries. So what do you do with batteries once they are out of, especially your car, and they still have some capacity? And yeah, it's a interesting field. It's not probably not an easy field because right now batteries are kind of cheap and we get mixed information from the industry. Either you can use the second life batteries or it's not a business case. And I think Henning Behn, the founder and CEO or managing partner of the Naext company, will give you a better overview if and how second life batteries can be a business case.
Okay, perfect. I think everybody can see my screen, right? Yeah? Okay. Okay, so I start right away. So I think we all agree that the energy transition itself is a fantastic thing. That's why we are all here in this call, I guess. Unfortunately, we no longer have a constant supply of electricity. So as a compensation, we need some kind of energy storage system. So battery storage systems are hard to beat in terms of efficiency and flexibility of use. And they are really important for the success of the energy transition. Of course, there's a downside. The downside of battery storage systems is the material they require. So the necessary resources are not only very limited, but it's also very hard to get them out of the ground. So whole regions are being destroyed, groundwater is being polluted, and yes, even wars, as we see now, are being started in order to get these highly desired materials. So at Naext, we use high voltage batteries from electric vehicles to manufacture our battery storage systems. These batteries are either returns from overproduction or have already had their life in the vehicle. That's why they are called second life batteries. Of course, something is needed to be able to operate these batteries in our storage unit. So we test each and every battery module before we install it. And we have a specially developed own battery management system, which is designed for the purpose of operating them and monitoring them and extend the lifetime. Yes, and by using these second life batteries, we can significantly reduce the amount of necessary resources. So for example, for the bigger one, we call it the Quadragon, we can save up to 85 tons CO2 equivalents. And for the smaller one, which is called Hexagon, it's still almost 10 tons of CO2 equivalents. And in addition, we ensure maximum sustainability in all production steps. So for example, we use certain plastic tubes made from recycled materials. The color of the containers, for example, is eco-friendly, and even the concrete foundation for the storage system is made from reused material. So, but let me assure you, when you stand in front of our components that we use, you will not recognize them as used goods, and nothing else look like old-fashioned products either. The opposite is the case. Thanks to our engineers, many years of their experience, we have created technically advanced energy storage systems that are highly developed, and we produce them in Germany. So the Quadragon that you can see on the left and in the background is a bigger system that we have. I think you can run through the data by yourself. So it's reach up to 650 kilowatt hours, up to 120 kilowatts, and which is special about all our systems, we have an integrated EV charging option directly inside the battery storage system. So with this one, we can provide EV charging up to 240 kilowatts DC. What is also special, the whole system is completely assembled in our production facility, and then is delivered in one piece to the customer, so that we can guarantee a plug-and-play installation within only 8 hours. The Hexagon is somehow the little brother. It reaches up to 72 kilowatt hours, lower power output, of course, and still there is a charging option, but only 22 kilowatts AC. The special thing about this one is that it has the ability to be black started, so it provides some security against a power failure inside the grid. In the center, you can see the common component of the two battery storage systems. It consists the second life battery modules. As you can see them, there are 6 in one of these racks. There's a battery management system inside and some further electronics in order to increase the safety. Yes, and this battery module can be used in bigger battery storage systems, of course. So we are about to set up a project with 9 megawatt hours capacity. Yeah, and thanks to our high level of modularization, we can quickly create new variants. Through our function as a product developer, we can adapt the products to new requirements and tasks at any time. Our products therefore enable sustainability in almost all areas of energy storage, so for almost everyone. So there is no excuse to support the energy transition while ignoring the use of second life batteries. I think this is an important point. I understood what you said, Max, and so there's always a challenge to compete against the costs of other battery systems, but I think it's really necessary to start a sustainable thinking also in the materials that we use and in the products that we have. Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to your questions.
Yes, and speaking of questions, are there any from the audience? Otherwise, you might have found out already. I have quite a lot of questions always, but yes, there is a question, please.
Hi, I'm Christine. Could you give us some price range for your BES systems?
Yeah, I think what is always compared is the price per kilowatt hour. So for the bigger system, we are somewhere around 500 euro per kilowatt hour. Of course, the smaller one is a little bit higher, as it's normal, but it's somehow the same range. Mm-hmm. You always have to keep in mind that we have a fully integrated system. It's not only a battery storage system with nothing else, but there's also an energy management system. We use Siemens components, for example, so industrial components in our systems. There's a geothermal fundaments. So we have a passive cooling and active cooling, etc. So we use these battery storage, the bigger one for the compensation of the power during the night in a PV park. So it's really developed for a long lifetime and with lots more functions, let's say. So it's not just having energy inside.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, there are more questions. I think that's hard to pronounce. I'm sorry. Zafaria, please go ahead and.
Hello again. My name is Said Ali. I just have a question about a pack of battery that include several batteries with different state of health. So did the BMS consider the differences between them to just establish an equal power sharing?
Sorry, again, the last?
For battery pack that include many batteries or many second life batteries with different state of health.
Yes.
Did
Okay.
the BMS
Okay,
consider?
good question. I understood. Good question.
Okay.
So what we do, as I said, we test each and every battery. So actually, they are already tested by our supplier, which is a big premium automotive brand. And then, of course, we don't mix the battery modules. So we have in one string, we have only batteries with somehow the same somehow the same state of health and voltage level.
Thank you.
Right. There are two more questions, but we are already over time. But I think that's the advantage of being the last speaker. Let's just continue the discussion. I just want to say thank you for everybody who attended. Thank you for listening. Thank you for registering. The next event will take place in July, 10th of July. We will inform you over LinkedIn. You can register right away over LinkedIn or our webpage. And yes, thank you again. Holger, do you have some goodbye words as well? Otherwise, we just continue with the discussion and go to the next questions.
No, I don't have any goodbye words, so therefore, thanks for everybody being here. I think we are sending around the recordings anyway, so you don't miss the next event. If you're interested in presenting to the next event, please send up a message and let us know if you're interested. And also, I think a couple of Horizon calls out there, calls for funding. If you're interested in this stuff, send me an email as well, because that is something people are looking for funding. That's sometimes interesting. And so therefore follow TraWeBa, follow us here, and I think you're getting up to date on everything that happens in the battery sector. And now coming back to the questions here.
Yeah, Paula.
Yeah, I think my question was already answered, because I wanted to know, how do you measure like the state of the battery before you decide to implement, like to take them into your systems? But as you mentioned, you're probably using the supplier, so I think the question is obsolete.
Not only, we have also our own laboratory where we test all these batteries. We have some kind of algorithm inside our BMS where we can check the state of health and where we can even improve the state of health by leveling the cells over a long time or longer time, let's say up to a week, and then we can stable it and so on. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
I have to add something about the prices, because I did one of the common mistakes. Never say a price in such a big round, but so I stated just the 500 euros per kilowatt hour. It's always difficult, because our main issue, I think, for everybody who provides battery storage system is that everybody is compared, let's say, with really cheap battery storage systems, and I think there is maybe put too much weight on the price, because you always have to look on the lifetime, of course, on the sustainability, which is a big point. I think it will be even bigger. So, for example, there are possibilities to get some grants from the state when you use sustainable products, etc. And of course, yes, it depends on the project. So if there's really a customer which is interested in our products, of course, I think we have to go in further discussions and really look what is necessary. It was just let's say a rough price indication.
From 𝗕life Technologies, I think you already answered a few of my questions, but apparently you are not mixing different OEM modules. But is your BMS and system like flexible that you could use any OEM?
Yeah. So we started with a, let's say, normal BMS. So let's say we adapted because they are automotive batteries. So we had to somehow adapt to the hardware which is already on site, the batteries. And now we have a multi-BMS which is able to be connected to different types of batteries from different OEMs. So we checked already with 3 OEMs. And let's say it's like installing a new printer on a PC. So you have something like a driver or whatever, and just to change the values, and then this battery runs with our battery management system.
Sebastian, we can't hear you.
Okay, then.
Sorry.
Take somebody else. Thomas, let's raise the hand. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
I didn't lower my hand. I already got my answers. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Sadia, you had a question for the end of the last question. So
yeah, thank you, Maximilian and Holger, and thank you, Petra, to introduce me to TraWeBa. I made a connection with what was said with Henning and the battery storage system. I quite follow all the topics to have an holistic approach of the electrification and batteries. But I feel a little bit sometimes frustrated because I'm engaged and involved through effects in safety and fire safety, exactly. So just to give you an idea and topics, please discuss about safety and testing safety next time, okay? This is to give you some suggestion maybe for the future topics. But once again, thanks to everybody, all the speakers, for all the quality of these topics.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I think there's no further questions, so I think we should close the call here. And if you're interested, download the chat. I think you can save the chat. You can take all these links. There's funny dots on the top of the chat, and you can say save, and then it's all yours. So we're not sitting on these email addresses. So please feel free, connect to the other people. And as I said, historically, a lot of times, if you're looking at batteries, if you're looking at the sustainable world or the sustainability in the world, batteries are the solution in the end of the day for climate change. The quicker and faster we are, the better it is, because sun is for free, and in the end of the day, it's highly sustainable if we make batteries sustainable. And then we are solving a lot of problems, so therefore we have to work together one way or the other. And this is all about connecting, networking here on TraWeBa, and hope to see you again on the 10th of July. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.